quorum has been determined, and the November 18th regular council meeting will now come to order. Please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight, we want to welcome Pastor Jeff Bradley from Lighthouse Baptist Church, who will lead us in our invocation. Pastor, thank you so much for being here tonight. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Let us pray. Our most gracious, wonderful Heavenly Father, as we enter this season of Thanksgiving, Father, I want to thank you for all of these people who've given up their time to come and help govern this town. And Father, I pray that you would just grant them wisdom. Father, you would grant us the ability in this town to live together peacefully, even if we disagree. And Father, we'll give you the praise for it. For it is in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Before we move on to our agenda, just want to remind everyone of just a few things. Our community Thanksgiving service is this Sunday, and that will be at 6 o'clock, and it's going to be held at Ebenezer Pentecostal Holiness Church this year. That's this Sunday at 6. And then we have our Christmas tree lighting ceremony that's going to be on Friday, December the 5th at 6:30 p.m. at the Christmas tree. We all know where that is. And also, again, our Christmas parade is Saturday, December 13th, that starts at 10 a.m. And I know that Ms. Reichert would love to have some more volunteers to come out and help us. These are fun events, and want to invite everybody to come help and have a good time. So next on our agenda is Palmetto Land Use. We want to welcome Mr. Wayne Schuler tonight for coming to provide a zoning update for us. Welcome.
Greetings. Thank you so much, Mayor and Council. I appreciate you having me out. I just want to give you a brief update on the status of things. And I believe you were given a spreadsheet that looks like this. And so let me just briefly walk you through that real quick. So what I did, if you recall, at the very beginning of the process is I took all the recommendations out of your comprehensive plans. That's where we wanted to start, was to make sure that any ordinance updates align with the policies that you've already adopted in your comprehensive plan. So I took those and put them in this table here and identified the ones that I thought directly related with zoning or a land use policy, whether it be your zoning ordinance or your subdivision regulations, for example. So took those and tried to identify which ones would match up best with those regulations, and then come up with just an implementation step where we, the first way to try to address those recommendations. So the items in blue, I've already, let me back up one step back further. So what I've done is I've used the model ordinance I've had, tried to calibrate it against what you currently have adopted, so we've got a baseline for that ordinance. And then with these with the recommendations in your comp plan, the items in blue I've already addressed in the draft ordinance in one way or another. So, for example, when we talk about discussing, so the recommendation in the comprehensive plan is discuss in mining, recycling, and salvage yard operations. So I've gone in and I've addressed those uses within that draft ordinance. So the items in blue I have already addressed within the draft. The items that are still identified either through the zoning ordinance or land use, subdivision regulations that are not shown in blue, I still have to address in one form or another. So, for example, the comprehensive plan talks about creating an overlay district for architectural review. So I've addressed the regulations themselves and put them in the ordinance as a recommendation, but I need to go in and create a layer on your zoning map so to identify that overlay district. So there's still some of those mapping issues that I still need to address. So that's where we are with that. I also took from the meeting that we had previously where council had some other specific priorities, for example, addressing recreational vehicles and those types of things. I have also addressed within the draft ordinance. So that's where we are at this point. I've added some illustrations, so as an appendix, so there'll be some illustrations to explain what a setback is, what a buffer yard is, how to calculate lot coverage, those types of things. So we'll have some illustrations with that. And right now, at this point, this morning, I was going through and trying to correct all of the cross references. So for example, and making sure that when an ordinance, when a section of the ordinance refers to a different section of the ordinance, making sure that those are corrected. So I started that process right now. And so when you get a copy of the ordinance, the draft ordinance, you'll see there'll be a couple of, and I'll talk to you about this right now. So, but I'll try to remember to explain it again when you get a draft. But what I've tried to do is within the draft ordinance, there'll be areas that are color coded. Right now, I'm using the color code yellow to show where I have brought in things from your current ordinance into the draft so that it is still consistent. And then right now, there are sections of the ordinance that are color coded in green, and those are completely new additions to the ordinance in one way or another. So for example, regarding the parking of work vehicles in a residential area, since you did not have that, that would be an example of a section that would be shaded green to show you that's something that is new to your ordinance that you do not currently have. So I want to try to be as transparent about what is being added to the ordinance, and so that you have, so when the planning commission gets it and when you get it, you'll have a way to have a clear debate about those new types of items.
Will it go to the planning commission after you and then us?
So we can do it a couple of different ways, but the planning commission would have to make a recommendation ultimately before you can adopt it. So so there's no set way in terms of council getting it and having work sessions and that type of thing prior to that, but they would need to make a recommendation before you take final action.
Any more comments or questions for Mr. Schuler? Oh.
In the comprehensive plan, we call for the elimination of the R3 high-density housing. Has that been addressed?
So no, so the conference, well, I don't call that specifically. Now, the comprehensive plan does talk about having districts with various or with differing lot sizes and lot standards. So that's something I've not yet specifically addressed within the ordinance itself. It does, for example, call for a look at the commercial debt standards and creating a core commercial district and identifying areas. So I've done that type of thing, but I've not yet gone back in and done any changes to any of the lot standards within the current residential districts.
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Would it be helpful, since Wally worked on the comprehensive plan, if he made a list of things that he knows right out of the top of his head, or he can look at the plan, that they actually called for to be addressed, to help you
Sure,
be able to do that?
Yeah, if you can provide some context to some of the discussion, absolutely, yeah.
And that would maybe
would be
save you
fine.
some time. and
Absolutely.
looking at stuff.
Sure,
Could you do that, Wally? Would you be willing to do that?
Sure.
This might help.
okay, yeah, so that may be some sort of the context, for example. So the conference plan, does talks about changes into adjustments into the lot standard for residential areas, but there may have been more subtle discussion in terms of specific districts that did not necessarily appear in the text of the comp plan.
That's good.
All right. Thank you
Yep,
very much.
thank you.
Sir. Next on our agenda, a resolution declaring November 20th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in South Congaree. Town Clerk Kelly is going to read that resolution for us.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is a resolution declaring November 20th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the town of South Congaree. Whereas in 2025, an estimated 67,440 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States, and 51,980 will die from the disease. Whereas pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest cancers, it's currently the third leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and is projected to become the second leading cause around 2030. Whereas pancreatic cancer is the only major cancer with a 5-year relative survival rate at just 13%. Whereas the symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally in later stages, and 90% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first 5 years. Whereas approximately 820 deaths will occur in South Carolina in 2025, whereas pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related death across the world. Whereas there were an estimated 510,992 new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed worldwide in 2022, whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of South Congaree are enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about the symptoms and risk of pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatments. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council of the town of South Congaree proclaimed November 20th as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the town of South Congaree.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to adopt this resolution?
I make a motion to adopt.
Do I hear a second? So we have a motion to adopt the resolution and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires, and I vote yes. Next on our agenda are the approval of minutes for our October 14 and October 21 meetings. Do I hear a motion to approve the October 14 and October 21 meeting minutes?
Make a motion to approve minutes.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll make a second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve October 14 and October 21 meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion carries. Next on our agenda is unfinished business. This is our second reading, consideration of an ordinance amending the business license ordinance of the town of South Congaree to update the class schedule as required by Act 176 of 2020. Do I hear a motion to approve the second reading?
I make a motion to approve the second reading.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? So I've received a couple of calls about some of our ordinances and some of the things that we do are not very clear for folks. So I've just kind of taken some of your notes that you've given to us, and I just want to clarify so that everybody will know what this is. For clarification and continued transparency, this amendment updates Appendix B of the town's ordinance, the business license class schedule as outlined in Exhibit A. As a result, all conflicting ordinances will be repealed and the updated ordinance will take effect for the business license year beginning May 1, 2026. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion carries. Second reading consideration of an ordinance adopting by reference the Lexington County Stormwater Management Ordinance 19-10 and Land Development Manual, excluding flood damage prevention portion and other matters related. Do I hear a motion to approve the second reading?
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? For additional clarification, by adopting the county's most up-to-date version, the 2019 Lexington County Stormwater Ordinance 19-10 and language allows the town's ordinance to automatically update when there are changes to Lexington County's ordinance. This ensures the town remains in continuous compliance without requiring council action for each update. Call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion carries. New business, first reading consideration to amend Title 15, Chapter 158, Section 261 of the Town of South Congaree Code of Ordinances regarding the zoning fees and charges. Do I hear a motion to approve the first reading?
Make a motion that we approve the first reading.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion?
Can we clarify that for people? with
Yes, we
kids?
can. Very, yes, we
I
can.
think
So,
that a lot of times people don't know what we're.
so what we're doing on this one is, we are updating our zoning fees and charges. The ordinance currently that we have was from 1985. And for example, the zoning permit fee was $20. That was set back in 1985, and it hasn't changed. So what do we got? 1985,
A long time.
25, 40 years ago. So we have updated that. That will be now $50. The zoning amendment fee was $65 in 1985. And so the new, the way it's put now is the map amendment is $175. A subdivision plat, a simple 1 to 3 lots was $10. And on the new one, it will be $5 per plat. And then on the complex, which is over 3 lots, on the new ordinance, and can we put these on the,
I was just thinking.
on the website too, and also so people can see those before our second reading? And so
Do you
then,
want me to put it on social media or something like that? Just on one?
No, just on
website, yeah, I think website's fine. And so then complex is 4 to 9 lots would be $50 base with a $10 fee per lot. And then there is a plat for 10 lots and up. It'll be a $50 base fee with $10 per lot and a maximum of $2,000. And then the zoning board of appeals variance, we have included that fee of $175. So we are bringing our fees up to 2025 standards.
And
Is there any more discussion?
this research was done by Ms. Record to bring,
This research was done by,
Mr.
Mr.
Schuler.
Mr. Schuler,
and
okay.
Ms. Baltnight,
okay,
and they, looked at the number.
and they're in line, what I wanted to reference, they're in line with other entities in the county.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Spires.
Yes.
And I vote yes, motion carries. Next, we'll have our first reading consideration to amend Title III, Chapter 31, Sections 1 and 2 of the Town of South Congaree Code of Ordinances regarding the time of meetings and order of business. Do I hear a motion to approve the first reading?
I make a motion.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
a second.
Is there any discussion? For clarification, this is, this amendment changes the hours of operation for business at Town Hall. The hours of operation for business at the Town Hall will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
It's the-
No, this is just on
It's the
meetings.
town and council meetings.
Just for our meetings.
I thought we had both of them on there. No? Hang on,
We've already done,
we've already done the other one?
yeah.
Okay, so this will change our, hang on, read my ordinance.
This will change our work session from
To
5:30.
six.
So what this is gonna do is change our work session, I'm sorry, y'all. This will change our work session from 5:30
to 6,
PM to 6 PM.
and then your order of proceedings for the agenda.
And then the order of the proceedings for our agenda. And I guess I'm gonna ask for Kelly to speak to that. Was there any major changes in the order of the agenda for people so that they understand what we're doing?
I will. There weren't any real serious changes. I added a place for the mayor to make announcements and communication, just to, like announcements for events and that kind of upcoming stuff. A place for presentations and recognitions at the beginning of the council meeting so that the people that come and attend for that specific reason can leave right after that if they don't want to stay. a request for appearances earlier in the agenda so that if citizens want to speak on something that is going to be new business, they'll be able to do that before the new business comes up. And then I just changed the wording of business tabled or not concluded before. I changed it to unfinished business just to be a little more concise. And then I'm adding a phrase that says the executive session can appear anytime after the Pledge of Allegiance, but we will keep it at the end unless there's some kind of reason for it to be in any other place.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
This looks good.
Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes, motion carries. Next on our agenda, consideration to approve a resolution for participation in the South Carolina Deferred Compensation Program. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Can you explain it?
Yes, ma'am.
So
So,
people understand.
I do have right notes on this one. So the South Carolina Public Employee Benefit Authority offers employees the opportunity to participate in supplemental retirement savings through the South Carolina Deferred Compensation Program. This program includes options like tax-deferred 401k plan and 457B plan. For the town employees to participate in these plans, PEBA requires that we adopt a formal resolution authorizing their participation. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, we will call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes. So the resolution is approved. Next on our agenda, consideration to approve the 2026 council meeting dates and holiday schedule. Do I hear a motion to approve as presented to council?
Make a motion to approve. With the consideration that January meeting will not be the 20th, it will be the 21st
the 21st.
because of other measurements that are.
And that's how it was presented to us. So our January meeting will not be on the third Tuesday, it will be on that Wednesday instead of Tuesday because it conflicts with
Legislative hometown.
Legislative Action Day. Yes, hometown Legislative Action Day.
Did we take into consideration of our meetings any other holidays, Kelly? Like, you know how Veterans Day, we forgot about that and we had to change it.
I did, like I said, most of those holidays fall on Monday.
Right,
So,
okay,
so
so-
it was worked out. fine.
Okay, good.
I did double check it.
Thank you, thank you. Any more questions or comments? So we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires.
Yes.
And I vote yes. And so we will post those dates, I'm sure, on all of our website and.
Did we have a separate
Mhm.
Okay.
No, Debbie.
Debbie? Yeah. Thank you, sorry.
You're welcome. And the town holidays will also be posted on the website, will they not?
Yes.
Okay.
Next on our agenda, consideration to appoint Ronnie Hingleton as a municipal code compliance inspector with authority to enforce municipal ordinances pursuant to South Carolina Code 5-7-32. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion?
Do you want to explain to people what the purpose of that?
Well, the purpose, from what I understand, is that this will give Mr. Hingleton the authority to enforce our ordinances, which I thought he had already, but hey, I'm good with this.
I thought you
Long
did
time
too,
coming.
that's why.
I thought he did have the authority to do that, but hey, that was a technicality.
Yeah.
We're good with this.
Can
Okay.
he write a ticket, the ticket too?
Be in that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, good.
He can.
Good. Good. Any more comments or questions? Hearing none, we'll call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, consideration to approve Jan Pro Cleaning and Disinfecting as the lowest responsive bidder for the cleaning services at South Congaree Town Hall and Courtroom. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
My second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any discussion?
And now we have discussion.
Yeah.
I've never been entirely happy with them, and now they're going up.
Yeah, it's a considerable amount.
But it's still lower than the other
Yeah.
Mhm.
bidders, which is surprising.
Yeah.
That's why I hesitated before I say it.
Can I also offer that, before the cleaning crew has come in before hours without anyone being present on the premises. And so now we're changing the schedule so that they come in on Thursday afternoons when we are closed. So someone will be here to know what is being done and what is not being done, so that we can address that immediately. And I think that you will be pleased with the services. We've had extensive conversations with the manager of, and they contract out to their people. You get certain cleaners will have certain properties and that's what they do for their week. And so we have had extensive conversations about the services and what we expect and what we would like to see, and they've been very responsive. Again, we did go ahead since they came and said they were raising the prices based on the fact that they had not done so in quite a while, since 21. And we're gonna go ahead and shop that around and see what we get. And so we did get 3 quotes and they are still cheaper. But again, no matter who we use for services, we are scheduling that so that it will be done during the daytime while someone is on premises and not at 7 a.m.
If they were showing up. But I see what you're saying, they contracted to someone, so it could have been not them, but the person they contracted to.
Yes.
They're, they presented the scope of work, so, I mean, since they presented the scope of work, it is in this document, we need to make sure that they're doing that scope of work.
Absolutely, exactly why we make them put that in writing.
Good.
They were never held accountable,
Before.
so, yes.
And will this begin January 1?
December.
Begins December 1. Any more discussion? I'll call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, consideration to approve Palmetto Seal Coating and Striping LLC as the lowest responsive bidder for the parking lot restriping at South Congaree Town Hall. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve so we can discuss.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
My second.
Is there any discussion?
Ms. Botnick, were you able to contact the railroad?
So we have reached out to Norfolk Southern and to SCDOT, and no one can give us a firm answer on who owns the parking lot side on the other side of the road. And so I also reached back out to Palmetto Seal and Coating, and he said that if he didn't have to do that side, the price would drop. So as soon as I can confirm who actually owns that side and whether we can stripe it or not, we'll move forward. So at the most, it's gonna be $950. If we don't do the other side, then it'll be less.
The reason that I'm saying that is because through the years, we have asked, the residents that are on the street have asked that that be addressed and that the road, that's a public street. It's not a full parking lot, okay? And there needs to be markings down the middle of that road to signify that it is a street, not a parking lot. And I've been told in the past that the railroad owns that property. So we really need, and the railroad does own like 65 feet from the center of the railroad track. So we need to make sure, and one of the situations that I had addressed was having the parking actually go further in so that the vehicles will not be parked closer to the street. Do you understand what I'm saying? In other words, they would be pushed back and
Towards the grass area.
toward, yeah, and let the railroad maybe build a retaining wall or something there. With all this work that they're doing on these bridges and trestles down this street or down this track. I mean, if we're gonna spend the funds to remark it, we don't need to have to unmark it. And that's always been an issue, okay?
Is it,
That was a funny look. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Is there any more discussion?
is
Do
it-
they have to authorize? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think they do.
I think they have to sign something.
I think
give us
the railroad did.
authorization.
even if it's like having an easement or something?
It is an easement. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, but if we don't have an easement agreement, we need to.
I
make
think
sure
we need to
we're
look
authorized.
in all the records that we can find to see when
Wasn't very many.
any easement
Probably never was done.
was done.
And we can, again, this is not something that has to be done next week. We'll make sure that we have our I's dotted and T's crossed before we address the other side of the road at all. But if we looked back, we found pictures and it was definitely pretty back in 21. So.
We must have had all
21?
It had,
We must have, if we did it,
Well, I know Councilman Cullum from Lexington County was here one night, and he actually talked about that very same thing. And he also talked about getting the road marked. My
and I've
concern,
actually met, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
my concern is that we are going to be paying for restriping, this parking lot out here when we've got a tractor trailer parked over here. I think my thoughts are, we get all of our ducks in a row before we vote to spend money to
So in regard
restripe.
to the tractor trailer, it does actually belong to the railroad and it's on this side of the road. Because when they had it over on the other side of the road where they're actually working, someone kept messing with it after they left in the evening. So they asked our police department, could they park it on this side of the road so it would be more visible with them coming in and out? And the police department told them, yes, they could park it there. So that's how it wound up on this side of the road instead of across the street in the gravel area over there.
Do we know how long that's gonna be while they're still working on that?
It's gonna be a while.
And
But
maybe
now
we should-
it can be moved for us to actually do the striping if we get to that point where we're doing that side.
So we're gonna stripe it, then he's gonna pull it back over the top of
because it's their property.
it. Well, we're not gonna stripe anything over there until we find out, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any more discussion? All right, then, we will call for the vote. Councilman Prosser,
Yes.
Councilman McIver,
Yes,
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Although the motion carries, we want to make sure that you guys keep us informed to know what's going on with
And
that.
that seriously is almost a legal issue.
Absolutely.
Because I actually, what I was gonna say when I was starting to interrupt you was that I've had the county down here with, Josh, and I wanna say the gentleman's name was Bickley, I cannot remember exactly, but the county doesn't even give us any, support in maintaining, the road being marked as a full-fledged street instead of a parking lot. So
Is it a county?
I think it's a state road, but
They
Oh,
should
we-
pay for it.
we were trying to,
Yeah,
I was just trying to get
Councilman
a
Cullen was
process.
gonna
faster.
help us with that,
Yeah.
so he,
maybe they'll strike for us.
well, that was kind of part of it. We can get some help with that, that'd be great. Next on the agenda is consideration. Absolutely.
If that's going with the park, can that come out of our H tax, our hospitality tax, if we're striping the park, or it just kind of all?
Can the striping, will you check on that, Kelly, and see if the striping,
I'm gonna say you might wanna ask your legal counsel. I know that upgrades to parks could qualify.
Yeah, because that's kind of,
so that, could we use our H-tax funds for that?
I want to look into that more closely.
Okay.
So anyways,
Okay. Very good question. So I think we all agree that if we can use our H-tax funds to pay for that, that'd be good. Let's do that. Okay. Thank you. Consideration to approve Steele's Home Improvement as the lowest responsive bidder for the soffit and fascia repairs at Town Hall. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
A second.
Is there any discussion? I have one question. Have we contacted our insurance company to confirm that that damage from the wind and storm that tore off the soffit was maybe covered under our insurance? Have we checked on that? Because that was definitely from the storm damage.
Do you know what storm?
Well, I don't know, but I have some dates. I can,
What's our
give you some
deductible?
storm dates. I don't know. I don't know what the deductible is either, but I was thinking that, this might be something our insurance could cover.
that's a very good question because at one, and I don't know which storm
Oh,
it was.
yes.
I don't remember which,
Yeah.
it was hanging over the front.
Yeah.
Um,
It was laying in the parking lot.
there
So
was-
we
yeah,
can
there
look
was a
back at the
piece-
weather and find out
It
what
was
storm.
years ago.
No,
It was,
recently.
but
There
I
was
meant
one- there
it's
was
been
one-
off. Yeah,
Well, it's been off in other places
Yeah.
longer,
Well,
but
one
that
piece tears
place,
off and then the wind comes, the storm comes and tears off a little bit more and more, so.
that's not bad.
So do we want to amend the motion?
so you say we're gonna check.
I would make a recommendation to table that
Okay,
until I can check with the insurance
Okay.
company.
so then we want to withdraw the motion.
Yes, please.
Okay. So that would be Councilmember McKay.
I make a motion to withdraw the motion until we can get further information as to insurance coverage,
So motion has been withdrawn.
and we table that.
Thank you. Next is a consideration to approve the purchase of four rugged laptop computers for the police department. Dell Latitude Rugged 5424 14-inch FHD Intel Core i5 16 GB RAM with Windows 11 Pro. Now, renewed at $639 each. Renewed, is that, well, I guess I need to wait till we get a motion. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second? Any discussion? What does the renewed mean? Are these refurbished or?
Renewed means that usually someone has traded them in, upgraded to a different computer. With the Amazon purchase, you have the option of doing protection plans as well with those. You can do an individual plan on each for 2 years or 4 years, or you can do one protection plan for all devices for $16 per month. That's just additional if you want that. Your Iron Logix contract covers service and setup on the devices, no matter where you purchase those from. So if something happens with them, then we can call Iron Logics. They will service them as if we bought them from Iron Logics.
What comes with it now?
So the computer itself will already have Windows.
But I meant, what's its like, how long is it covered for? Not just with the purchase without adding it.
So right now it would be 3 months without adding anything additional. But once you receive those and you add those to the plan with Iron Logics. they will
Oh, okay,
service
I get
those.
it now. Plan with Iron Logics,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So if we have the coverage with Iron Logics for those, when they would pay for us to purchase other ones, or they would supply them? I'm
No,
not
we
familiar
would,
with their plan.
so Iron Logics would take what we have. So we would
Uh-huh.
purchase those, get them, and
Uh-huh.
then we would say, we have the 4 laptops here
Mhm.
for you to come and add whatever needs to be added, connected to the network and secure it and all that stuff.
And I'm talking about the coverage of it, like if something happens to them.
So once they know that we have them, that
Mhm.
goes down as equipment that we have with Iron Logics.
And they cover all our equipment for if
And
it
the
breaks down.
contract that you have right now with Iron Logics,
Right.
they cover service and setup on all equipment.
I understand service and setup, but I'm talking about if something happens to them, like they break or they quit working. Like what was our other ones under any kind of coverage?
No, ma'am. If they break or if something happens to
Yeah.
them, then you purchase new ones.
Okay.
And just to play devil's advocate, these are gonna have Windows 11 on it. All of the police department programs are good to go with that.
Yes.
Any more comments or questions? Thank y'all for this. I appreciate this. So hearing none, we will, call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Pursuant to South Carolina State Code, Section 30-4-70A1 and 2, I move that council now enter into executive session for the discussion of personnel matters related to the police department, personnel matters related to town employees, and to receive an update on legal advice related to pending litigation. Do I hear a second? Second. So we have a motion and a second. Call for the vote. Councilmember Prosser,
Yes.
Councilmember McIver,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Spires.
Yes.
And I vote yes. And so council will now enter into executive session at 6:43 PM. Thank y'all so much for coming tonight. Good to see y'all.
Thank you for explaining things.
Well, how come, say, can you please start explaining those things? Because we don't understand what those